Okay, so this is a video about economy picking and what it is. The name economy picking often makes people think that it's just picking economically, but that's actually not what it is. There is a bit more to it than that. So, a bit of background on this. The exercise I'm going to play and work around came from Guitar Techniques magazine, and it was by a guy called Chris Brooks, whose name I've just had to look at the book to remind myself of. And what he did in this particular exercise was compose something that's supposed to sound a bit like Eric Johnson and show how he gets a really smooth picking technique, particularly on his earlier albums. So, a bit of background into this first of all. What economy picking actually is. If you are doing what's called shred picking or alternate picking, it's when you're picking down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Or if you start on an up string, you go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'll just play something that demonstrates that. So that is an exercise I picked up from Guitar Techniques years and years ago. That's a blues scale that's supposed to sound a bit like Paul Gilbert. Now, notice the difference if I play the same thing again, but I use economy picking. I'm not going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm actually doing a pattern where I switch string with the same strokes. So it will be down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. I can't do exactly the exercise I just played because this picking wouldn't work with it. But what I'm going to do is the same scale, but economy picked. So I got one of the strokes wrong there, but you get the idea. Instead of going down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, I'm now going down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So this is arguably a tidier way to switch strings, which is why it's called economy picking, because instead of having to do a big motion, you're now having to do what's really a very slight flick of the wrist or fingers. And when this is done at speed, it can make for an incredibly smooth sound. I'm not going to try playing it any faster than that, because this is something that I'm still learning myself. So if you want to have a listen to somebody who's absolutely astonishing at this, look up a jazz fusion player called Sean Lane. He was widely regarded as the fastest guitarist on the planet within his time, and this was after a lot of testing done by a lot of geeks at magazines, where they would sample people's playing and slow it right down to see how many notes per second people were actually getting. And Sean Lane was the winner at 18 notes per second. I suspect they used a guitar solo called Grey Piano's Flying from his Powers of 10 live album. If you listen to that, you'll realise he's got fingers like Sonic the Hedgehog's feet when he plays the fastest sections of those. How he got it is just absolutely mind-blowing. It's just loads and loads and loads of practice, and most people who practice economy picking do not get as quick as Sean Lane does. But if you want to hear what actually perhaps is achievable for most of us mere mortals, try Eric Johnson or Frank Gambale when they're playing really fast, and you'll hear what I mean. It's a smooth technique with that really minimal stroking pattern. So what I'm going to do now is just warm up a little bit by showing you this exercise of Chris Brooks's, the economy picking. I'm not going to use a backing track to start with, I'm just going to play the intro. So this is in E minor. And what he starts with, I'm going to do this really slowly, is so that's the first half of it, played with a couple of mistakes there, but you get the idea. It's not the 3 notes per second thing I was doing a minute ago. It's a bit of switching strings with the same strokes. So where I might have alternate picked a lick like that before, he's got me changing strings mostly with the downstroke. And then when you get to that really fast part where I'm doing 5 notes a second, where you might usually hear 6, again, very characteristic of Eric Johnson's playing, he's got me getting that sort of speed by using that style of picking. So that's what it is slowly. So I'll play that again. Now the next part of this that's the same thing in principle. So put it all together and you get... Okay, so what I'm going to do now is try doing that with the backing track, only I'm going to speed this up slightly. It's amazing how fast this can actually go. When he guested this on the Guitar Techniques magazine, Chris Brooks actually provided two backing tracks. One where he plays it slowly, which is about the speed that I just did there, and then another one where he goes as fast as he possibly can. I can't get this to the maximum speed at the moment, so I'm going to use 73%. I find that sometimes when I try and do it that quickly, it's a little bit difficult to get the economy picking. So when that happens, the idea is you slow your practice down and then you try and work up to your goal and go a little bit higher every time, using a metronome to help you get the speed without going too fast. So here goes nothing. Let's just see how this works out, and if it's no good, I'll maybe link you to a perfect take I've done of it once I actually get one. Okay, I'm going to try that again. I had the guitar on the wrong pickup that time. Okay, so that was a better take. So what I've kind of demonstrated there, without really intending to, is the importance of selecting the pickup that matches your sound. So for this, I've always played it on the neck pickup to get a much smoother sound, because that's how you naturally do that anyway. Most guitarists know that. So if you were to start on the bridge pickup, you get a much harsher sound, and the economy picking, you will notice it, but you'll find, or at least I'm finding so far, that the way you get the sound that you're going for more easily is to use the neck pickup. That's not really cheating, that's just selecting the appropriate setting on the guitar to get what you want. So, I mean, that's maybe another tutorial, the different sounds you can get by switching the pickups on a particular exercise. But yeah, you get what I'm going for. So if you like that particular exercise, I do recommend, I'm not sponsored in any way, but I do recommend Economy Picking Guitar Techniques by Chris Brooks. I bought the entire book because I liked the tutorial in Guitar Techniques so much, and it's really making a difference already. I do recommend it if you are into that particular sound and you want to learn economy picking. Okay, so that's the video. Good hunting.